Hey guys, so sorry, I know I've looked like pure shit in the past few videos. That's mainly because I still feel like shit. But we're gonna ignore that and just move on to the video. So as you guys probably know if you watch any of my videos, I am a huge Walking Dead fan. I love it. It's my life. Not really my life, but it's pretty close. So anyway, I thought why not do some cool Walking Dead Easter eggs. Before we even start this video, spoiler alert, there might be some Walking Dead spoilers. There might also be some Breaking Bad spoilers, and if that sounds crazy, just give me a minute, I'll explain. So I got most of my information from www.dorkly.com. I will link them below. Some of these spoilers, here comes the train and the dog, sorry. Sorry we had visitors and I done ate a pizza. Anyway, 8 Walking Dead Easter eggs, some spoilers for Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. Some of these I found watching the show, but most of the information is from dorkly.com, so I want to go ahead and give them their recognition. So let's go ahead and let's just get started. So for number 8, Breaking Bad could actually be a prequel to The Walking Dead. They're both shows on AMC, which is obvious, but Walter's trademark blue meth can be seen in Season 2, Episode 2, Bloodletting, when Daryl digs through his brother's stash to help save T-Dog. So that's kind of a little bit of a sign there, right? But then, in the 7th episode of Season 4, Daryl tells a story about a strung-out dirtbag he once knew. I'm going to go ahead and read some of the dialogue. Remember how this dealer, a janky little white guy, tweaker, one day we were over at his house watching TV, watching the show. Merle was talking all this dumb stuff about it. Turns out it was the tweaker's kid's favorite show. He never sees his kid, so he felt guilty or something. So who do you know that is janky white drug dealer tweaker who could be guilty about never seeing his kid and also might be fond of the word bitch? Fits the description of Jesse Pinkman, which might be who Merle got the blue meth from. Also in Breaking Bad, Walter gets his son a Dodge Challenger. In the show they talk about a general manager named Glenn, but in Season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead game, Glenn says that he's a pizza boy, in which he also says so in the TV show when they're looking for Merle in Atlanta. Daryl asked, what did you do before all this? He said, I was a pizza delivery guy. But Glenn is seen driving the exact same Dodge Challenger to lure away walkers in Atlanta. Go ahead, open the door and interrupt.
What'd you say?
I said, go ahead, open the door and interrupt. So anyway, the little bits and pieces of Easter eggs that could connect Breaking Bad with The Walking Dead is probably one of the biggest ones I have here. But on to number 7. So believe it or not, there are some famous zombie cameos in The Walking Dead. There are also like sports people, there's like musicians, Johnny Depp was one of them. But some of the best guest zombies are the ones that are tailored from die-hard horror fans. So, here's the first picture. The one on the left is a fellow known as Flyboy, who's known for getting his head cut by a helicopter in 1978's Dawn of the Dead. Now, when you compare him to the one on the right from Season 3, Episode 5 of The Walking Dead, they pretty much look the exact same. So this next picture, the guys at The Walking Dead must be big fans of Dawn of the Dead because they also have the red flannel zombie. The one on the left is from the movie, and the one on the right is from the TV show. Now, zombie cameos don't necessarily have to come from zombie movies. In the horror classic American Werewolf in London, Jack Goodman, which is at the top left, returns as a gory ghost after being mauled by a werewolf. As the movie goes on, his appearance deteriorates with every scene, eventually looking like the picture that's on the bottom left. Now, if you freeze frame just right while watching the 9th episode of The Walking Dead's 4th season, you can spot Jack stumbling around with the horde following Michonne. You can even catch the werewolf claw marks on the side of his face, which is a good hint there. So in Day of the Dead, Bub, which is at the bottom right, was the zombie with sort of semi-intelligence. After a series of experiments, Bub displayed the ability to form memories and use basic motor skills. Now you'd expect The Walking Dead to honor what Bub might be the most famous movie zombie, and sure enough, Glenn shines a light on Bub late in Season 4. He's even wearing the exact same clothes. So on to number 6, Achievement Unlocked. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. In the first episode of The Walking Dead, after Rick suits up in his sheriff gear, he puts down a fellow undead officer out of his misery. After the shot goes off, you can hear a plunk mixed with the rattling of the fence as the walker's body catches up with the massive brain trauma. Now, I will try to link a video of this shot happening if I can find it. But if you listen closely, anyone who's ever played video games on the Xbox knows that plonk as the sound of an achievement notification. So I guess this achievement was Rick's first zombie, or first headshot, whichever one you want to put it as. So, good job, Rick Grimes. So number 5, the show points out the game. Now, for those of you that don't know, Telltale has games, The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2, and I think they're coming out with Season 3, I'm pretty sure. If you haven't played those games, play them, they're awesome. But anyway, the comic and the show take place in Georgia, so it's no surprise that the characters have been all over the state. But when Michonne puts her finger on what did I try to say, Mancoon? On Macon, when she points out Macon, certain fans definitely noticed. Macon is very important to the plot of Telltale's Season 1 of The Walking Dead. And the series creator Robert Kirkman confirmed the Macon reference in an interview. There's been some hint of possibly the fact that Lee and Clementine could show up in the Walking Dead series. Now, spoilers again, like I said in the beginning of this video, there's spoilers. In Season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead, Lee did die. Whether, he got bit, he died, you could choose to cut off his arm, all this other stuff. But anyway, Clementine's still going. Now, like I said, there's a Season 3 coming out, so we don't really know exactly what's going on yet fully with her story. There's a lot of people, if you read fan fiction, there is a lot of people that will bring in Clementine into the Walking Dead universe with the TV show. But I don't really know how things will go. I don't know how long she would be kept in the show, or if they would accept her. Anyway, she would be badass in the show, though, right? Like, she's a fighter. So number 4, there were some red flags about Terminus, if you paid attention. At one point, Michonne and Carl run into a creepy house full of weird paintings. One of them features sunflowers, the same plants that greet the survivors in front of Terminus. That could have been a sign. But then there's another painting. And this one, to me, is a sign. I feel like they did this on purpose. Now, this is just my opinion, but there's a painting here, and on the right is Mary, a crazy cannibal and one of the founders of Terminus. Someone had painted Mary, which it has to be her. I mean, look at the pictures. They look extremely similar. But they had painted blood on her mouth, which could potentially be foreshadowing the reveal of her cannibalism. And the X over her right eye could be symbolizing the fact that they've already dealt with another villain, which, who do we know lost their right eye? The governor. So that might just be showing that this woman she's a villain, she's bad, watch out. And there's also this picture that Dorkly.com put that I thought was pretty funny. They even sport the same umbrella. They shop at the same villain hardware store. Okay, so for number 3, I actually pulled out my Bible for this one. I know that sounds crazy, but there are Bible references everywhere in The Walking Dead. Pay attention, find them, read them. They all are pointing to very specific verses that all seem to be relevant to the situation at hand. For example, in Season 2, the church they come across while looking for Sophia. It says Revelation 16:13, sorry. Which says, "Then I saw 3 evil spirits that looked like frogs. They came out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet." There were 3 walkers in there. One was a bride. I can't remember them all, but there were 3 walkers. So then they come to Father Gabriel's church, which has a ton of Bible verses that are relevant. This one I noticed watching the show itself. Me and Richard noticed, what are all these Bible verses? We looked them up, and it was crazy looking them up. But one of the first things you see in his church, you don't even have to really do some research. It says, "He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life." Now, of course, in the Bible, this is talking about the Last Supper with Jesus. Catholics, I know, do it. They'll drink wine to represent Jesus' blood. They'll eat the crackers, represent Jesus' flesh. But then there's this whole sign behind Tyrese. Romans 6:4, Ezekiel 37:7, Matthew 27:52, Revelation 9:6, Luke 24:5. Now, I actually pulled out my Bible. This is King James Version, and I'm going to read you every verse that was listed, and you're going to see. I don't know, when I found this out, I put it on Facebook, and I won't be able to find the post, it was a while ago, but I just was like, I can't believe that the writers of The Walking Dead actually made it to where it seems like the Bible had predicted a zombie apocalypse, that this was meant to happen. This is just awesome to me. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the verses. So the first one is Romans 6:4. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. The next one is Ezekiel 37:7. So I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. At some point, Father Gabriel is talking about where he pushed the townspeople out, and they were shaking the walls of the church. And then eventually he buried most of them in a mass grave, which is bone to bone. So moving on to the next one. The next one is Matthew 27:52. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. And the next one is Revelations 9:6. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And then the last one is Luke 24:5. And as they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, Why seek ye the living among the dead? So anyway, I love that Easter egg, the fact that they just have the Bible verses everywhere. But we're going to go ahead and move on to number 2. So number 2, Rick doesn't want to name the pigs just like the cannibals don't want to name the humans. At the beginning of season 4, when they're still in the prison, Rick advises Carl, don't name the animals you're going to eat. Funny enough, though, the same rules apply for Terminus in season 4 finale. If you'll notice, I have a picture here whenever they were shoving them all into the, whatever they are, I can't even think. He's naming them off as like the ringleader, the archer. They don't want to name what they're going to eat. And then this is the last one. This one isn't as big of one, but very few people noticed it. You know, Robert Kirkman wrote the comic The Walking Dead before they made the TV show. He also has written other comics. One of them was found in Terminus, which I can't even think of the girl's name now. The little girl that Glenn found after we all thought he was dead. Why can't I think of her name? Anyway, she was holding one of his comics, but the most noticeable one was the fact that Carl was wearing a Science Dog t-shirt, and Science Dog is one of Robert Kirkman's comic books. So even though that's not a very huge Easter egg, it's still out there. Of course Robert Kirkman has to advertise his other great works, right? So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, and I made sure to include plenty of pictures. Like I said, I got everything from www.dorkly.com. That will be listed down below. The video involving Rick shooting the fellow officer, I will try to find that link down below as well, so you can hear the noise for yourself. Dorkly's website had it, so I might try to find that website again and find it. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I think we hit 200 subscribers. I have to check it again. I think it's went up and down a couple times, but I do believe we've hit 200 subscribers. And I've told you guys before to go ahead and comment down below ways to celebrate it. I was thinking about the cinnamon challenge, that type of stuff. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, and get ready for The Walking Dead in October. Bye.